Hello and welcome. Good to be with you for the penultimate round, the second race for Formula V from Wakefield Park, the State Championship. Dylan Thomas winning race 1.
Okay, so that's the starting order for race 2. Thomas on pole from Ryan Reynolds, Michael Kinsella, the championship leader, Timmy Brook, Simon Pace, Matty Pearce back into 1600, Craig Sparks and Aaron Pace, and they're all off.
Good start from on the inside, Dylan Thomas, Ryan Reynolds giving him his run for his money on the outside.
Kinsella up the inside of Timmy Brook.
Great move from Kinsella up there on the inside. He's, of course, the man leading the point score at the moment as they make their way up to the top of the hill. Reynolds having missed the last round.
Morgan Fremantle went up the inside of Bruce Perry there. Nice tight entry into turn 3 as the track narrows.
Up to the top of the hill we go.
Oh, spinner. That's Morgan Fremantle.
Gone.
Okay, that'll create a little gap behind Aaron Pace there, back to, it looks like Jeff Bennett. He's a bit further back, isn't he?
Good effort from everybody else to make their way through there, of course, as they make their way into the fish hook for the first time. Everybody missing Fremantle, and he gets back going at the back of the field now, so a lot of work to do.
Okay, there's Stevie Butcher leading the 1200s, and if he has a clean weekend, he'll win the championship this weekend. Thomas and Reynolds, a little bit of a break from Kinsella. Kinsella locking up, off he goes.
So,
did you see that?
Just as you were saying,
here it is on board. Timmy Brook, there he is.
Off on the outside, locked the brakes on the dirt, and his efforts, which, a good effort in race 1, have been undone in the first lap of race 2. Good start from Thomas at the front of the field, though. He leads them across the line at the end of lap 1 as the rest of the field make their way through in our 1200s as well. Yeah,
Jeff Bathyway back with us for this weekend as well. Here comes Thomas. They're all down the wall there, getting the slipstream. Timmy Brook moves across to a little bit for Simon Pace with Matty Pearce back into 1600, the 1200 champion.
And making the move up this year. It's been a good season for him, hasn't it?
He actually hasn't run the 1200 much this year. He's just jumped in here and there. There's Morgan Fremantle making the move on Jeff Bathyway, and I think that was Ray Cripps. So look at the gap here in the first lap already. Thomas and Reynolds has moved a long way off Timmy Brook, Simon Pace. Let's go through them. There's Matty Pearce, Craig Sparks, Aaron Pace, Jeff Bennett. That was
one of the CXC cars.
There was a lot of them. That was
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. We'll pick it up as we go along as they make their way down out of the fish hook once more. Everybody cleanly through there for the second time. Look at the lead that Thomas has opened up at the front of the field. The defending champion 3 lengths back to Reynolds as they make their way out of turn 10 for the second time. Down the main straight we go.
There's a car length gap there to be behind Reynolds, but he'll get the toe back up. Kinsella's coming back through the field on Bruce Perry there.
Good move from Kinsella. He's got a lot of work to do.
There's Al Harrison coming through.
That was who we missed earlier. It was Big Al making his way.
And there was Darian Scott, Sean Scott's son, making his debut this weekend.
Great to see him in Formula V.
In Matty Bode's car. Matty Bode's taking the season off for now that he's had his big crash in the last round at Eastern Creek.
Couple of very big crashes this year. Fremantle's here in round 3 as we see Pace up on the inside of Timmy Brook. A good move there as well. Timmy Brook doing a lot of jerking of the wheel there as he makes his way out of turn 2.
Well, that looks like Gary Hook up the inside of Gary Hook's return for us because Gary Hook's up the inside of James Horn there. James Horn's had a bit of a quiet year compared to last year, hasn't he?
He certainly has. He was winning races last year.
He was. Darian Scott with Simon Duffy and I'm guessing that's Willie Pym. Willie Pym's really stepped it up in the last couple of rounds, hasn't he?
Brilliant performance from William Pym.
Okay, and Thomas has got a couple of colours
about it as well.
No, Willie Pym quietly. I'm not sure about that.
Well, we don't hear much from him, but I guess that's because we spent.
So it's Jacob Andrews there that's gone through there. So it was Jacob before. With Matty Bode not in there. It had to be Jacob Andrews. So confused me there for a moment. There is a few CXC cars in the field.
Yes, quite a few actually.
So Thomas has got a couple of car lengths here on Reynolds now. Reynolds is trying to stay with him. Pacey's got around Timmy Brook, and they've got a couple of car lengths back to Matty Pearce, who's got Sparks, Aaron Pace, and Jeff Bennett in tow.
Yeah, Jeff Bennett having a good run this weekend. Matty Pearce, the standout performer in that bunch as well. As you say, making the step up from the 1200s. He, of course, raced the opening event of the year here, the 50th anniversary, in the 1200s, and now making inroads in the 16s as Reynolds tries to track down Thomas, who again, like he did in race 1, for those of you that missed it trackside, opens up a big late spark. Good move there on the inside of Pearce. As Pace is there in his toe, and so too is Bennett as the rest of the field make their way through it.
Kinsella's actually not making fast work of some of these, what you'd call slower cars compared to him. He's look at this. Oh, I thought Darian Scott was going to go around the outside of one and in the inside of the other. Be a brave move. He's pretty rapid in a go-kart, so, be pretty go-kartish to go around one and inside the other.
Yeah, that's exactly right. As a former karter, I can say that is the way to do it sometimes.
Oh, look at this. Matty Pearce up the inside of Sparks.
At the fish hook, good move there as well. Can Spark get the switchback? We'll find out in a moment.
Here's Gary Hook getting pressure from Bruce Perry.
Yeah, good move from Hook and Perry there on the inside. They're having a good little ding-dong battle. They have done for
Al
most of the
Harrison's
weekend.
pulled away from Duffy, which is... And who was that? That was Willie Pim's fallen back. I thought he was a bit further up a moment ago. So
obviously something wrong there for William Pym as they make their way back.
Oh, look at this. Simon Pace has caught up.
He's pulled away from Timmy Brook. He's closed in on Ryan Reynolds. Look at
Aaron Pace.
Inside of Spark. Brilliant move. And then, of course, you saw Bennett go through there as well. And Al Harrison on his tail.
I think Jacob Andrews caught up to that group of Jeff Bennett as well. So Jacob Andrews done a good job.
Jacob Andrews doing a very nice job there as the rest of the sexy cars
He's in a big fight. Jacob Andrews, Craig Sparks and Aaron Pace are in a big fight for the lead in Division 2.
And William Pym sitting there at the back of our shot that we just cut out of. So back down the main straight they come.
So
look
someone's
at
fallen
this
off
battle.
that group. There was four in that group before. Look at that. Jacob Andrews. Kinsella off again.
Kinsella again, second moment in this race.
Looked like he had some brake locking again. He had brake locking in that first off as well. So I wonder if he's got his bias a bit messed up there.
It's going from bad to worse, unfortunately, for Michael Kinsella, but luckily for him, given that he won so many races in succession, which is un-Formula V like earlier in the year, he has a lead in the championship, given that Reynolds missed the last round as well.
Well, Reynolds actually got lucky with missing the last round because he actually only missed one race.
Yeah.
Because one race got declared and the category drops the worst race. So really, he's only lost 30 points. So,
exactly.
So Reynolds did really well, which means he's in great contention for this series still.
He certainly is.
So even though he missed a round,
there's the club point score and the state point score to consider.
I think he's leading club point score too.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Or if not, just close to it. So
he had a cracking weekend here at the 50th anniversary meeting.
He did. Oh no, he had
a club point score. He had a DNF right at the end.
Yeah.
But 2 from 2, and they were both thumping victories as well. As we pick the cars up coming out.
Okay, look up the inside. Here goes Simon Duffy up the inside of Al Harrison. You can always tell Al Harrison by the exhaust pipe.
That's it. Yes.
There's I was about to say Matty Bowe, but it's Darian Scott. Thomas has pulled even more margin here. Pacey's all over Reynolds. Timmy Brooks all over by his lonesome there. Aaron Pace up the inside of Sparkle. And
he get it done?
Matty Pearce. Where is Jacob Andrews? Jacob Andrews fallen back there. He moved up a bit and then he's fallen back. So and then here comes which one's this one? That's Al Harrison.
That's Al.
This one's Darian Scott. There's Pimmy. So Pimmy's got around Morgo. Morgo's not made a big impression after his spin.
No, he hasn't. He's found it very difficult.
Well, he's saying that he's not in his regular drive.
That's exactly right. So after the crash here earlier in the year.
So it actually shows the camaraderie of this category because it was actually Ray Folletti who put the old Ben Oldfield car together for him. So Jacob Andrews looking pretty aggressive there on the back of Jeff Bennett there. Gary Hook with Bruce Perry on it. Kinsella's like a long way back too off.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't even look like he's coming through the field fast.
Just goes to show you, 1 off and you're ruined, 2 and you may as well just, potter around and try and...
Well, it's really important for Kinsella to get some points back because, like I say, with Ryan Reynolds only missing one race effectively with a broken leg, it doesn't take much drama for Kinsella and he'll get those points back pretty quickly.
It was an incident riddled round 4 at Sydney Motorsport Park. That's why he only missed one race. He got very, very lucky there.
Yeah, well, it was that Matty Bowe, the reason that Darian Scott is in this car that's coming through now. He's missing a nose cone, Darian Scott. Oh, he's had contact. Dazza, what are you doing, mate?
What's happened there? I don't know what's happened to Darian. We'll find that out.
Hey, look, Timmy Brooks caught up to this group here. See that? Timmy Brooks caught up to Ryan Reynolds and Pacey's got through.
Pacey's got through. We missed that. He bridged a gap earlier, did Reynolds.
Oh, look at this.
Look at
that, Matty Pearce
up on the inside of Aaron Pace.
Jeff Bennett up the inside as well.
He got up there on the inside of the blue car of... I'm just trying to think who that was, ladies and gentlemen.
I missed it.
We've missed it. We'll find out soon, I'm sure.
I'm a bit like a fish pond. That's Willie Pym coming through on Darian Scott there. Good job. Willie Pym, like last round out at Eastern Creek, Willie Pym got into the 49s, which for Will, in his second year racing, he's pretty damn good. And this weekend, I think he got into an 8. at Wakefield, which is nothing to be sneezed at.
He was very proud of that.
Yeah.
When we spoke to him, he was very proud of that, and he didn't mind gloating about that one. He often comes up and says g'day in the paddock, has a bit of a chat, tells you about his race, but, you know, I mean, he's a quiet achiever at this point of the championship. He's just doing these little things here and there that you notice as we go along.
Actually, he's second in Div 2. I neglected to say that in the last comment, but he's second in Div 2 through consistency.
Yeah, and maybe for our first-time listeners and viewers, we should elaborate on what the difference between Div 1 and Div 2 is.
Div 2 is a championship basically for entry-level drivers. You become a Div 1 driver once you finish in the top 3 of Div 2. So once you finish first, second or third in Div 2, you become Div 1 automatically. So in the bygone years, there used to be so many Formula Vs that Div 2 actually had separate races where Div 1 drivers weren't allowed to race.
I just saw a couple of spots of rain falling on our camera shot from turn 10. So
look at the defensive drive here. Craig Sparks, he's gone real defensive. Aaron Pace is going to have to go around the outside, but he's not going to do it. That opens the door for Matty Pearce, and Matty Pearce comes up on the inside.
Pearce gets the job done on Pace as they go into turn 2. As I said, a little bit of rain falling around the Goulburn circuit as well. You can see the clouds looming in the back of the shot.
That blue car you were thinking about before was actually Jimmy Horn.
Jimmy Horn, yes. Now that is unlike him to be that far back. As you said earlier, he's had a very quiet season. He was winning races last year.
Look at the gap Thomas has got. Thomas
is smashing them.
Smashing it. And then Simon Pace has got Ryan Reynolds under control. And then there's another gap back here to Sparks and Aaron Pace. And Matty Pearce. Matty Pearce doing a good job in his return. Oh, look at this.
Oh, no.
Jimmy Horn. Jimmy Horn. He got. Did I just see a flame come out of the back of that?
I think I did as well. A flame coming out of the back of Horn's car at the fishhook. That's, of course, turn 8 on the Goulburn circuit. Now, that is incredible for him. Of course, we're only just talking about him, how quiet he's been, and now he gives us something to talk about.
Well,
an incident, locked it up, got the flames. It looked like
he got his right rear onto the grass and braking, and right rear onto the grass, slid it in. He actually did a good job to catch it and not rotate it with, obviously, the weight of these cars all in the rear of the car. Timmy Brooks is doing a good job holding on to Ryan Reynolds because Ryan Reynolds has been damn fast this year.
Look at this, Pearce on the inside. Sparkle has a slide out of turn 10. Pearce gives him the wave. What are you doing, son? And here comes Pace down the inside.
Pace is going to be the beneficiary of that. Craig Sparks does like to wag the tail. Oh, look at this. This is going to be Bruce Perry up the inside of Gary Hook here. That could be a bit interesting down the end of the straight there. Simon Duffy having a bit of a lonesome race here, and this is Morgan Fremantle coming back through, followed by Al Harrison, and Willie Pim's caught up to this group. Darian Scott's dropped back a little bit here. He's lost the nose, and he's probably lost a bit of aero, and, you know, a little bit of contact, probably lost a bit of confidence too.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the 1200s, Jeff Bassyway, getting lapped here by the 1600 of Thomas. Next coming through, Pace has pulled away. Simon Pace has pulled away from Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds has been so strong, and look at him, he's dropped off.
How rare is it? This season, it's been all about, look at Pearce again having another crack at Pace, if you don't mind.
Well, Pace took him down the straight too.
Pearce took him, of course, coming out of 10, as we just detailed a few moments ago, and held it there on the inside line. As we so often see in Formula V, they tuck across, if they're in a slipstreaming battle, they move across to the inside to try and defend that 1-to-1 to try and hold them out into 2. Unfortunately, it doesn't work all the time, but it does encourage that gutsy, ballsy move, if you don't mind me saying, up on the outside as we go on board with Timmy Brook at the top of the hill. Look at the slide there! Ryan Reynolds, a big moment at the top of the hill.
Timmy had a moment as well, so I think there might be something on the track, although there's a couple of drops of rain here.
As we said, it was raining, so it's now just making it a little bit tricky, but Thomas all class at the front of the field, pulling away.
Timmy Brook's going to have a dive in. Is he going to go in? No.
Yields and probably the smart thing
Matty Pearce didn't. Look at the top, Jeff Bennett's off as well. So
cars going everywhere.
It is slippery up the top there. You watch some of these other cars come through, you might see there was Kinsella. Kinsella might go off again for a hat trick. So here's Jeff Bathaway, Ray Cripps, and
Reynolds
wide again. See, the whole track's getting slippery.
So it's really showcasing the men from the boys and really testing them. Look at Darren Pace a little bit wider and
sliding again there from Sparks. This is actually helped Kinsella.
Making his way back through the field as well, getting up there on the inside. Sparks has spun.
I said he was spinning. Look at Andrews is off.
Andrews has spun as well. Someone else has spun there too. We can't quite pick that up. Jimmy Horn for a second time. So everyone's spinning at Wakefield Park. Andrews is stuck. He stays done. Well, his race is done. He'll be back for race 3 a little bit later on. See what precipitation does at Wakefield Park. It just causes pandemonium, as our good mate Lachlan Mansell would say hi to you watching the call.
There's someone else spun in the background as well.
There's 4 of them. They're going everywhere here, and yet no safety car deployed either. We're just watching these cars
they're all
make their
getting
way
going
through.
again. Here comes
the good
Gary
thing
Hook.
is they're making their way back onto the circuit. The good thing is they're getting back out of harm's way, and therefore no need to put this thing under yellow. It's all under green at the moment. But as we were just saying before all hell broke loose up there, it's very rare to see first and second separated by a big margin, then second and third separated by a big margin.
Look at the margin.
As well.
There's first going through the fishhook now.
That's Dylan
Here comes,
Thomas.
There's the two 1200s. There's second. Then another little gap. Third and fourth. And now a big gap.
Massive gap to 5th, 6th and 7th. Here is
that's Johnny,
gets up
is that
on
Johnny
the
Mack?
inside.
That's Sparks. Sparks after his spin still did it right. He's still ahead of Aaron Pace. Jacob Andrews has got going again because there he is there in front of Kinsella. Okay, and there's
This is fantastic.
yeah, Bruce Perry and I forgot who was in there. Too much action going on there. There's Simon Duffy coming through. Here comes Morgo, and I think was it Pimmy that's coming through here now? Did he have a spin as well?
Yeah, I think William had a little off-track excursion. Whether it was a spin or not, bit of puff of smoke there from our race.
Oh no, there's Jacob Andrews still there.
Jacob Andrews is stuck, so his race is done. Forget about him. They obviously can't see that from race control because under normal circumstances that'd probably trigger a safety car, but these Vs, they sit below the wall, so race control wouldn't even be able to see that one.
You watch the line coming through this last corner here. A couple of the front guys, they actually went a really long way around. Watch Kinsella, he'll probably do it as well. No. A lot of the front guys, I saw Ryan Reynolds, I saw Timmy Brooks, actually took a long way around. It's actually the wet line.
That's right.
If there's, see Jimmy Horn went a bit wider on his entry as well.
The grip goes to the outside in these conditions.
So some of the guys that know the track conditions, they go, it's too slippery on the inside, let's go to the outside. So there's a good little battle developing here between Alan Harrison and then Pimmy here and Bruce Perry. In fact,
Bruce.
Oh, it's the last lap. We've got the last lap board out. See the last board?
Last lap at the top of your screen there, you can see it. So this race is nearly run and won. Dylan Thomas, if he keeps it on the track, will make it 2 from 2 for the weekend. He's absolutely smashed them hit this morning. Just got that little gap, which is all you need in Formula V, and then you just cruise off into the distance. It's a fantastic performance, this one, and it's not unlike races that we've seen in Formula V this year. We'll split with a couple of close ones here at the 50th anniversary, but we've not had that close racing that we're used to in the battle for the lead in a lot of the races that we've had here this year. Slightly disappointing, but they will make up for it at Sydney Motorsport Park.
Sydney Motorsport's a bit closer because the tow just keeps everybody in play. So that's Bruce Perry going up the inside of Pimmy there. So here comes to the leaders for the last time around the fishhook. Yeah, Thomas with a margin over Simon Pace. I keep going to say Aaron because and then Ryan Reynolds, who's had a quiet event by his standards. Timmy Brooks right there. The 1200s of his Crips in front of Bathurst. Matty Pearce has broken away from the group he was with. Aaron Pace, Jeff Bennett. Kinsella's made up a few spots, probably due to everyone else spinning.
That's right. The skill has kept it on the circuit. Yes, okay, he's run off the track a little bit himself.
There's Sparks and that's Gary Hook, followed by I missed that one. That was and there's Duffy. Sorry, the one before was Horney.
Yes.
And here comes Morgo, followed by his Pimmy ahead of
that's Al.
Pimmy's behind Al Harrison. Yeah.
There's a little bet going on in the paddock, is my understanding, between those
There's
two.
always a bet with Pimmy. Pimmy's always got a bet.
Look at this, though. Front of the field. The man that won the championship last year. All class on a Sunday morning. Thomas goes 2 from 2 for the weekend. A sensational performance across the line. He goes. Here comes Ryan Reynolds out of the top corner. Simon Pace there as well. So am I right in saying that Simon Pace has got been relegated back to third spot by Ryan Reynolds? I think
that was Aaron Pace actually, and behind Matty Pearce.
Okay.
So the red and the orange is the same in second and third as it is in 5th and 6th.
Very hard to pick up from that angle as the rest of the field make their way through.
This is close. Bruce Perry up the inside of Al. Al's got the better drive.
Yeah. And Tim's been lifting the distance.
Here's Thomas Weaving.
Flag. Thomas Weaving, all class, as I said.
That's Stevie Butcher leading the 1200. So the 1200 just got lapped by Thomas, and they went together almost in formation finish.
Pace second, and then you go back to Reynolds in third. So Pace did get back there in the end.
Yep.
And Reynolds, that's probably his lowest finish here at Wakefield Park. He's been a first and second place man all season.
He's not been off the podium all season.
That's right. Third is about the lowest he'll finish at Wakefield Park.
This is the lowest finish for Kinsella all season, though. So Kinsella's been very strong.
Costly race for him. As the rest of the field make their way through. Bad race for Jimmy Horn, unfortunately. But, I mean, as we said all along, it's been a very quiet season for him here at Wakefield Park.
So it was 8th for Kinsella there as well. So he still scores nearly 20 points odd for that. So he drops 10 points. He drops 10 points. But with Ryan Reynolds, his closest rival, he only drops 5 points to Reynolds. So for a bad race to only drop 5 points, there he is in 8th.
Let's have a look at the results. The defending champion in front from Simon Pace and Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds, of course, lowest finish of the year. Michael Kinsella, his lowest finish of the year here at Wakefield Park. They were third and 8th in between them. Timmy Brook, Matty Pearce, Jeff Bennett and Aaron Pace. Of course, Reynolds and Kinsella, the two, battling for the championship. There's the 1,200 results, the three of them. Stephen Butcher from Ray Cripps and Jeff Bassingthwaite. I'll get that out eventually. It's a tongue twister, that one. Race 3 coming up a little bit later on from Wakefield Park. Look forward to your company then.